Hello again and welcome. Today I brought out just the patrol pack and I'm only carrying 15 pounds of kit. Incredible, and it includes 2 litre of water and dry food, change of clothes for 2-3 nights, hammock and tarp and summer sleeping bag along with the essential first aid and fuel, etc. So there's enough here to survive for 3 nights and 4 days, travelling light. It is a light kit, so it's not going to be ideal for severe conditions, but the outing is hopefully going to be on the 8th of June, midsummer almost, so it's going to be really warm. So I'm going to try out the kit, see how it all comes together and whether or not I need to buy a larger tarp to cover the hammock, but I don't think I will. So stand by. So, that's the patrol pack completely emptied. There it is. Hat, lunch, water filter, fire kit, coffee, windshield, spoon, sporg, stove, BCB, waterproof jacket, warm hat, waterproof trousers, 2 changes of 3 days of clothing, first aid, insulation for the hammock, and hammock airbed, and summer sleeping bag, tarp, bungees for the Basha and larger pegs for that purpose. So let's construct the camp, shall we? So here's the ridge, and down from the ridge rainwater would stop about here, and if it ran down the cord it would probably stop and drip. If it reaches the carabiner it would stop there and drip as well, but I think I might tie some paracord to the carabiner as well, so there's 3 defences against the dripping of rain. You can only try it and make it work by trial and error. Inside, as you can see, I've got inflatable mat and double-sided insulation, and then with the sleeping bag in summer conditions should be fairly comfortable. What I like about this is I can pitch camp in a forest, on a slope, in hill country, and there shouldn't be any big issue. I'm just going to throw back the Basha now, open it up and get inside and see how safe or unsafe I feel. So I've put it quite low to the ground for a reason. One is I can cook breakfast while still in bed. The other one is I can just sit and relax without any difficulty getting in and out. I prefer to be low to the ground because if I take a hound with me, I'll put its bed beside me and we'll both be under the Basha and sheltered from any summer rain or thunderstorms that might come our way. Now for the experiment, let's see if this works. The experts say that you should have your head lower than your feet, otherwise you will slide down all the time and have to keep pushing back. I think that's how it is. On this occasion I've got the head higher than the feet, so it's not going to really be ideal. Never mind, it's just a trial. Let's go for it. So I think the secret is just to flip in quickly. Yay! Yes, I like. And if you lie at an angle, theoretically, you should be very comfortable. This is a very cheap hammock. It was less than 20 quid. The cheapest one on the market almost, with a bug net that is. Ideal for summer camping. So, people might ask why have a ground sheet? Well, it's a luxury, because when you take your boots off, you don't take any debris into the sleeping quarters. And why have the hammock so low, as I've said already? Because I want breakfast in bed. However, it's probably not going to be that easy or practical, but it's a good idea. So a second look at the insulation. This is just a car windscreen frost deterrent, two-sided bubble wrap with two-sided foil. It's well upholstered, it's very strong stitching along the edges, should have some good shelf life. And this airbed is called the Ecotex Outdoors. It's actually very flexible. You can have it quite firm or quite soft, and it's very compact. It's really a nice piece of kit. So the make of the hammock is, I've shown this before in previous films, coverture. I like to put twigs between the cords before zipping up the bug net, and with a Y junction at one end, which helps you to hook onto the paracord, and at the other end just put it through the loop once and twist it round, and then apply the Y junction. You get a nice taut ridge all the way along the bug net. The bug net has got two channels of paracord slung around the tree, and at one end the daisy chain, oh no, it's just simply a knot, not a daisy chain. The system I use for my Basha is the bungee. It gives a bit of flexibility, so it keeps it nice and taut. And at the other end is a daisy chain looped around the tree, quite flexible, and then you click it into the daisy chain loop and it stays there, and it's quick release, so that's good. I like to put my tree hugger around the tree once or twice if I can afford it, to the left a bit of the centre, so when it tightens up it just gets stronger and stronger as the tension pulls. And that's all there is to it, so that's the setup. Of course, if one is taking a dog along, one does have to put the dog into the hammock with you. If it's a terrier, that's quite easy, but if it's a bigger dog, not so easy. So it would have its own quilt underneath the hammock, not quite underneath in case it collapsed on top of the dog, but so you could clap it, keep it reassured, and it's sheltered and it's comfortable. And back to the patrol pack, that is only £15 worth of kit in there, which is enough for one night. But if I was carrying extra food, I would still be okay, probably under £20, which is not a heavy pack at all. So that's the objective, is to try and have a 4-day trip under £20 rather weight. And might even be less than that, because I might not carry much water because I have my filter, and I'll just find the water on site. I might have to take the bigger Bergen, but I don't want to, because I don't want to carry too much kit, and this might just be ideal for a summer camp. I think the bigger Bergen is ideal for winter conditions, because you do have to take a big sleeping bag, and that's the whole point of the bigger Bergen, because an Arctic sleeping bag in bivvy takes up about 2/3 of the Bergen, and that allows you the rest for kit and food and supplies. So I think that's it. I think I've managed to try out the kit, and I'm looking forward to the 4-day hill walk forest camp, and move on each day leaving no trace and blending in with the countryside. Just a thought from the forest before I wind up for the afternoon, and that is that a YouTuber recently unsubscribed from another YouTuber because of the amount of fuel that particular bushcrafter was using in the forest, and huge fire to keep himself warm when he could just got a good sleeping bag. The whole thing was a contradiction. And I have to agree that the person who might be watching is one of my subscribers, and I think bushcrafters have a responsibility to communicate this to other people who are just starting out, that you don't need a huge fire burning up masses of dead wood, because it's got a purpose as well. It's there to allow bugs to inhabit the ground and, you know, to feed the birds, the whole eco thing. And as well as the scar and the footprint it often leaves. Now I know that most bushcrafters are like me, they're very responsible people. They will not leave a footprint. If they do have a fire, they always tidy up and then replace the turf or, you know, the debris and take the rubbish away, and everything is just as it was, pristine. That's good bushcrafting. But there are some people that seem to have massive fires, and yesterday out of my local forest with my wife and dogs, we were walking. I could not believe the number of people. It was a Easter holiday and it was sunny and warm and people with fires everywhere. And today when I drove past, the litter, empty vodka bottles, you know, cider cans and wrappers and plastic and rubbish, and one fire still burning in one particular area. There were about 6 black charred areas on a short quarter-mile stretch, and it was still burning. 24 hours later, I had to go into the forest and extinguish it as best I could. You know, this is the kind of people that are lighting fires in our forests in Scotland on a summer's day. Once in a lifetime they might just think it's acceptable, but it's not. Everybody else has to use the forest, and the landowners in particular need to be given a bit of credit because they have to manage the forest and they've had to pay and invest in it, and they don't want to see it ruined. And then of course in Scotland we have Freedom to Roam Act, and you know, the legislation could be changed if we abuse our freedom to roam in Scotland. We have to take care of landowners' land and not abuse it. So please, bushcrafters, let's all pull together and keep saying this to folk, and so that there's a clear message that bushcrafting is all about conservation and sensible use of debris that might be available for cooking purposes. And I highly recommend, like a lot of bushcrafters do, very small fires if you have to have one, or a wood stove, or biofuel to cook with, whatever your choice. But you can do it in an ecological way that doesn't upset everybody else. So take care of the country, you folk that are still on a learning curve. Don't burn too many logs and having a huge Guy Fawkes bonfire just because it suits you. That's not acceptable. As a former renting person, I used to rent land myself some years ago. I used to take great care of my forests. I had 90 acres of woodland for gun dog training purposes, and it was a cheap rent and it was a great hobby, and for 5 years I did that. And I would have been appalled if somebody had come into my patch and set fire to huge logs and left a mark. So please, please everybody, get the message out. No footprint, and only very small fires, if at all, wood burning stoves, etc. acceptable, and biofuel or gas, your choice. So that's it, end of the rant. Now on with the rest of the day.